Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Bold Lawyer Show. I'm JD Hubener, and that, my friends, is Mr. Matt Pulsup.
It's me. It's Matt. What's up, JD?
Matt.
How's it going, man?
You're going great. I'm having a good day. Just got back from workout.
Sweet.
Feeling lively, trying to get back in shape. You know, it's that time of year. Like, okay.
Yep, it's bikini season, man.
Yes, like getting out of the cave, right?
Yep.
As it were, the hibernation cave.
I'm putting down the ice cream lately, picking up the apple.
Picking up the apple. Yeah, a lot more popcorn versus ice cream at night for me. Gosh, I just shove it in. But
I know. It's the best.
Oh, dude. So this is great. So if all of those people out there, I should say, please bring on those questions. I know our LinkedIn audience of attorneys, perhaps, or, budding attorneys that may be tuning in. This show is for you that may be interested in hanging your own shingle, what it's like running a law firm, what it's like taking the jump from a big or medium or even small size law firm to do your own thing. And we're interviewing a really cool guy, a friend of mine, Len Garza. In just a minute, he's waiting backstage with from Garza Law, based in New Jersey. So we're going to hear his story in just a bit. I do encourage any questions. This is all fair game. Matt and I will do our best to answer. Our guest will as well. So fire away. We're broadcasting on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, X today. I don't know how long that's going to take to not say Twitter.
I know some people who just in protest just call Twitter anyway. So
okay, yeah. Well, X.
Not so much the platform, but so much the owner. So
yeah. I think your feelings are very apparent there, Mr. Let's see. Yeah. I think let's just jump into it. We'll do a full interview here. Matt, anything to sort of set the table? Anything else we need to do introductory wise?
No, let's dig in, man.
Let's dig in. Okay, and welcome to our show, Len Garza.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt, good to see you. JD, good to see you again.
You too. Looking great, Len. Your lighting's good. My gosh, that's great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, my mouth's watering because you were talking about popcorn. Yes. And I've been shoveling a lot of the popcorn myself. That's been my treat, so to speak. So yeah, man, got to get out there and do walks and watch out for the fitness. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Bikini season, as Matt said. Yeah.
Bikini season, yeah.
That's right, man. Got the gold.
I've been doing homemade popcorn. What was that, Matt?
Oh, nothing. Carry on. As you
carry on. Yeah, homemade popcorn. I'm doing I've got the whole system down. Adding in a little bit of this lime at the end. Anyway. Yeah, it's good. But yeah, I can get out of hand with respect to the quantity. Okay. Let's get back to it. So, Mr. Garza, you are the owner of Garza Law, business law firm. And let us start with your founder story. Kind of share with the audience here how you got started. Well, what got you into maybe the law and then opening up your own practice? And I'll put you on the big screen here. Hopefully not too, here we go. Oh, there. All right, cool. All right, sir. Yeah. Lay it on us. Tell us your story.
Yeah, great. Well, unlike I think a lot of lawyers out there, I did not always want to be a lawyer. It was not even on my my radar until after graduating undergrad. The thought of having to go back to school for 3 more years after finishing undergrad and take a bar exam was the furthest thing from my mind, and I would want to put pins in my eyes from that. But at the time I was laid off from a recession and had to, what they term nowadays, pivot. I didn't know it was called a pivot back then, but that's what it was. And it gave me the chance to realize that I really didn't enjoy what I was doing back then. It was in .com, telecom, that whole boom. And I really focused, what do I really like to do? And it turned out think analytically. I wanted to be into something deep that was just never ending. And that is really the law. I mean, you're never going to feel like you're done learning. And what I would discover about myself over the years is that I'm a lifelong learner. And I didn't always know that about myself, but I really love learning. I learn new things. To me, it really feels like a rebirth. I think I really get a charge from learning new things, learning about new areas, and that was a self-discovery process. And so that led me to law school. And I born and raised in Texas, moved up to Seton Hall to go to law school because I went to New York and loved the city, fell in love with it, and said, I got to get back up there. So Seton Hall was way back up there. Ended up meeting my wife in school. She's not a lawyer, but as I tell people, hey, she's a Jersey girl, and that pretty much makes me a Jersey guy now with our two young daughters. And trying to explain to people, hey, New Jersey is actually a beautiful state once you look at it. It's not like the Sopranos, the entrance to the Sopranos, which everybody remembers from years ago, but having to fight against that. But so I went to law school, and I just had aspirations of saving the world, changing lives, helping people understand things.
Time frame, what year did you graduate law school?
That in 06,
Okay.
in 06, so
Cool.
03 to 06. And I was just in awe of just, I didn't have any lawyers in my family. And so, well, extended family, but in my family. So to me, I really, it was a blank slate. The expectations were wide open. And so I went into law school and then went out, and like so many, you go work for a law firm. And then I noticed that light that I had, dying. It started slowly, or I don't think so slowly, but it very quickly started dying in the law firm environment. And I wouldn't admit it to myself. If you went back then and talked to me then, I was in denial because it hurt too much to admit that truth. And that's the truth, that Len, your light is dying and this is your career. Good job. You chose a great one, great job. So far away from actually being able to help people get through problems, I was defending these nameless, faceless corporations who were clients that didn't really care about me, didn't really know about me or anything. And I never really even talked with them. They don't really want to talk to me. They want email, and the most I ever learned of them was the email signature block. And that was it. Very, very transactional. And it was a grind, and it was years and years of grind. I hopped from law firm to law firm looking for something, that spark. I was a job hopper.
Generally, what kind of law was it?
Yeah, so I started out doing, because I wanted to be a trial lawyer, see it on TV. It looks like the thing to be. I go out being a trial lawyer, and it is medical malpractice defense and business litigation. Start off doing that. And it was not like I had seen on TV. Sure, there were some exciting times, but there were times that, just a lot of grinding. And it just seems like I was just caught at the bottom of a crab barrel, and just everybody's jockeying. I didn't see how I'd ever stand out of that. And that's not what I went to law school to do, to really change lives and the way that I wanted to. And then that started to feel like, well, Len, was that just you being too Pollyanna? That's not the way the world is. This is your life. You just grind away for decades, and that's what you do, and you raise your family, and that's good enough. Which is like, hey, okay, that's it. Thought that was my lot in life. So I hopped from firm to firm, looking for that spark, looking for something different. I thought I was looking for a title, more money. When I got those things at the new firm, and that high was gone after a few weeks or a month, and I realized I feel the same as before. I briefly considered getting out of the law because I think, going back, it's like I wanted to change. I wanted to have an effect and impact on the world that I didn't feel like I was having. Well, fast forward to just before COVID. I didn't know COVID was going to be COVID, but the firm I was working with at the time, they were in the process of sinking, going out of business, and I had a very small book of business, nothing really to support me, but I was essentially I left that firm and was interviewing with other firms. I thought I was going to just jump to another firm because I didn't have enough clients to keep me going at that point. But I really loved servicing those clients. And then COVID happened, everything stopped. The firms I was interviewing with went on hiring freezes, but my cases were still going. My transactions, my things were still going. They still needed my advice, still wanted to talk to me. So I said, okay, well, here we go. And I had already formed my LLC, but I thought it was always going to be kind of a side thing. But things just kept on picking up. They liked the work that I'd done. It's amazing how the universe, it's like once people found out I was on my own, it didn't happen overnight, but they're like, oh, Len, you're on my own. Oh, you're on your own. It's like they wanted to work with me because they knew they'd be working with me versus maybe one of the larger firms. And things kept on picking up. Things actually picked up for us through COVID. We continued to grow. And that was 4.5 years ago, and haven't looked back since, and couldn't be happier. Yeah, I'm at a great place now in life.
So good. That is awesome. Well, I think you're our first guest sort of born of COVID, in terms of the firm, but it comes with a really cool history there. And that's really neat to hear how sort of as the ether, people heard about it, right? Word of mouth that, oh my gosh, Len's on his own. We can get Len, we can go get the service people perhaps always wanted. And
it really felt magical, kind of it all coming together and just riding with it and giving to others, advice, connections, introducing people who can help each other, cases, which I still love today. If it's something I can't help, referring to another attorney and just having that go-giver attitude, man, and I'm not doing it expecting something in return, but that's the way it ends up working out. So it's been really amazing. Yeah.
Really good. Go ahead. I'm sure it's not all magical, right? At the beginning.
Oh, no.
Let's look back 4.5 years.
It's not all pizza and rainbows.
Yeah.
Oh, it's challenging. It's challenging, and we'll get to that. JD, did you have something specific you wanted me to hit?
Well, I mean, let's for someone who's sort of super nervous and worried about money, right? You mentioned you had just a small handful of clients making a jump, and I know obviously with COVID it was almost forced, which is pretty cool, right? And that kick out the door, kick in the pants.
And I needed it. Yeah, I wouldn't have done it. I mean, your back's in a corner, and I think I needed it, but yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of those things that you overcame to get, sufficient income to find price? What were the initial hurdles that you cleared when you were starting up? Walk us through some of those unexpected hurdles that you were able to clear.
So number one, it's always money. It's always money, and money mindset and the perceived stability of a paycheck. And I say perceived because it's stability until you get laid off. And I've been through layoffs before, in other lines of work, and my wife has too. And so, the paycheck is stable until it's not, and then going through enough of those situations, I said, there was this feeling of like, I never want to be in a situation where somebody has that much control over my life and my family and my ability to provide. And it felt like with all this education, law school or what I did in undergrad and hard work, and the fact that you can still be laid off, and just how difficult it was to get jobs and the friction in that and everything, I was like, it's got to be a better way. And so, but it's money, right? And so I was fortunate enough to always be a good saver, good, not great, but I had some money saved up, but there's never enough money. There's never enough money, right? Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is enough money, but if I don't know what I'm doing or clients don't come, this money, it's gonna sink out the bottom. There's got to be income and cash flow coming in. And that's always a thing. That's always a thing I live with as a business owner. I think and I represent business owners, so I deal with them, work with them all the time. And that's always a thing, but the fear starts going away, and that, it's there. You know it's there, but you don't let it. Like one of my favorite mentors says, "Hey, the fear is it's a passenger in the car with you, but it's not driving. It's not driving every decision. You're aware it's there, but you still focus, right?" And so much of it though is mindset, especially for an attorney. I'm speaking for myself. You know, as attorneys, we're taught to really risk management and really hone in on the details. And I think in a lot of ways, and know all the risks and in my mind be very risk averse. At least that's the education that I got, and that is the exact in my mind the exact right training to persuade you to not do this, to not go off on your own. And so you have to mindset wise swim against all of that tide and people telling you, just as we're trained and as we train ourselves to do, spot the risks in this contract, spot the risks in this application, what could go wrong, what all of these things in litigation, what could go wrong, and say yes, but do it anyway and make that move anyway. And there's this great quote, George Clooney in some movie, I think it might have been Three Kings, I don't know. I saw it on Instagram. It wasn't actually, it was a clip. But I love it because somebody's talking to him and he's talking to the person. They say, you know, he's scared who he's talking to. I need the courage to do it. And he said, no, you do the thing that scares you first. Then and only then do you get the courage, not before. And that just really hit me because I said, yeah, you get the confidence after you do the thing and it works out. But before, you take a jump. So for me, I had money, but it wasn't about the money. I still needed to be pushed to jump. And COVID gave me that jump because I said, what's more likely right now? Me continuing to bang my head against the wall to get hired at a firm, or me to just really go all in and say, yes, I'm on my own. This is my firm. Come to me. This is what I do. And then once I made that mental shift, it wasn't overnight, but that's when things started to happen because I was congruent with, I wasn't moonlighting or kind of side side hustling it. I was all in, and that's when things started to happen.
Awesome.
So cool, Len.
Yeah.
So much of what you kind of went through like resonates with me, and yeah, it is like that, taking that leap of faith, right? To go from working at a firm to starting your own firm. And I don't know about you, but when I first started, my practice, I was just eating what I killed, right? I wasn't taking it wasn't taking a bi-monthly paycheck or anything like that. It's just what I made is what I took home, right? And at some point you get to a stage where you just take a paycheck because the income becomes stable when you fill out get your calendar full. And then, that's kind of stressful, right? You got to make payroll, and then also you get employees, and then you really got to make payroll. And But at some point, though, it's like, well, you're big enough to not have to worry about that, right? I've never missed payroll. So it's like, why am I worried about that?
I'm in my 10th year, but I still, next month, oh my gosh, we could be out of business. Like, there is that, like you said, that fear is on the bus. But it's maybe like many rows back on the bus.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But I did find that quote, Len, and I can't say George Clooney. It was actually Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that's great. Oh, I love it.
Do the thing and you shall have the power. But they who do not the thing have not the power. So I think it was a little simple.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's gold, though. I love that.
Yeah, man. Really, but it how true is that, though? And doing things on your own, entrepreneur. That's why I love working with entrepreneurs, because I tell them, it's like, I'm going to date myself now, but it's like that old Hair Club for Men commercial from decades ago, where the guy's like, oh, I'm not only the president of the hair club, I'm also a client. It's like, hey, I'm not just an attorney that advises business owners like I was in larger firms.
No, you're a small business owner, right?
I'm one myself. I know what it's like to stress about cash flow, to think I could go out of business. Like don't look down, Len, don't look down, just go, figuratively. And oh my gosh, making payroll, Matt, that hit, that's another level. right? That's
Yeah,
that's
no,
another.
when you first hire your first employee and you're paying payroll every 2 weeks, and it's like, okay,
That's another
here
fear
now.
level, right? And so it's like, okay, great, you went off into business now. You conquer other things. There were others in between that. I'm not to say there are other changes, but the big fear that hops out then was, now I need to hire a full-time employee, right? Because I need somebody dedicated. I was working with 1099s before, and it was just the service, providing my clients, delegating things was very hit and miss. And it's just like my coach said, my business coaches have said, it was like, Len, you got to put a ring on it to these people. Like, they're not going to commit to you. At least the ones I was hiring at the time, it's that full-time employee. That's the stage that you're at right now. If you want to get to the next level. So that's what I had to do. And it was tight that whole first year. And sometimes it's still tight. Of like, is this the right decision? Because payroll felt like the money was coming in. It was going like I was just a pipe. Money comes in and it's going right back out, right in payroll. There's none left for me, you know?
So, and then, you know, then April 15th comes along and it's like Uncle Sam knows what's in your bank account, right?
Right. Happy times.
I just wrote those checks yesterday. So
yeah. But it's always, I don't want to say always, it's uplifting talking to others like yourselves and saying, you know, I'm not alone. Others are going through this, and, you know, hey, if you have ideas, great, you share ideas, but just the fact of being able to share that's this journey and that's what it is. Man, it's a wild ride. It's definitely not all pizza and rainbows. I've definitely gotten a lot more gray hair, but you're out there. You're out. I tell my wife, it's like you're out there back in the old days, out there in the wilderness, eating what you kill. You know, you can structure it differently, pay yourself and things, but it's kind of like if you're not going or you don't set up the systems to go, then everything flows from you, right? And so
I don't make money when
it works.
You know, I don't make money when I don't work, right? I can't just leave the business for a month and expect to get paid, right? That's not how it works.
Right. And
it
so
can.
the paycheck.
It can.
Well, we don't all have a Meg and JD, all right?
No, I don't want to go there. But okay, Len, you've been dropping gold with platinum sparkles today. I wrote down one thing that you didn't say, but while you were saying, I want to make sure listeners hear this. You have a business coach. You have a business coach.
Oh,
so
man.
That confused. You're realizing I'm an attorney. I wasn't actually trained to be a business owner. I need help. That's giant. Treating your law firm like a business. I don't want anybody to miss that. So that's a huge kudos to you. And it sounds like you're getting advice that, you know, is sound, and you're thinking things through, developing systems. You've been in business almost 5 years on your own. If you were to offer just one, I know you've already been dropping a lot of advice, but one thing to someone who is where you were 4 or 5 years ago, what's one thing that you would say, gosh, I would do that differently? Or here's a huge aha that would shortcut it for them.
Yeah.
Or maybe there is none, but I know I'm putting you on the spot.
There's so many, so I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick
you're
one.
a solo attorney when, you know?
Yeah. And it kind of goes to what we were just talking about, JD, getting a coach, because everything up here, so much is mindset, and it's as simple and as difficult as changing my mindset. And I found so many entrepreneurs. It was difficult because I had a lot of blockage, and I still do. I'm still working through that, and it's probably going to be a lifelong thing. But my upbringing, education as a lawyer, the way I thought about the world, life, was limiting as far as what I could accomplish. Oh, I'm only in court all the time. I'm in litigation, and nobody will give me the chance to do transactional or estate planning or anything. So I must not be able to do it because the lawyers aren't giving me a chance at the firms I'm at. Now it's like, you want to go do it? Do it. Buy treatises, spend this is part of the commitment I was talking about. spend thousands of dollars of my own money, which it was the company's money, but at that time it's still your own money.
Mhm.
Spend thousands of dollars on that. Spend money, thousands of dollars on a coach. Get the right, hire workers, employees. Some of them don't work out. Fire them the second hire somebody. It's all, it is failure. And again, I listen to Tony Robbins and all that. I geek out on all that.
Fail
So,
fast kind of thing. Yeah, iterate.
yeah. Failure was something that I was deathly afraid of before, but shifting how I see that and seeing that, no, Len, it's trial and error. This employee didn't work out. Don't look at it as a failure. Just move on to the next thing. Len, yeah, things went sideways with this client. Doesn't mean anything's personally wrong with you. Maybe you guys are just not a fit. Move on from that relationship. Make room for the client that actually is your ideal client, what works for you. Shifting the way I looked at those things.
That's great advice right there.
It's massive. It's massive, but it's ongoing. I say these things, and one thing's saying it and another thing's living by it. And some days I'm better at it than others, but just realizing that, the way I looked at things with a new mindset versus how I did in the firm, it's changed because it had to, right? Because if I didn't have this mindset, then there were things that I'm sure I would think, this hanging your own shingle, running your own thing. It's not for me, not for everybody. And it's not for me. I'm going to go back and work for a firm. But that's what I'm scared of, actually.
Yeah.
Doing to do that, which is crazy. It's all mindset.
Fear is a great motivator in some circumstances, right?
Yeah.
But maybe like this guy, Len, I mean, he's got so many value propositions, right? I mean, I'm hearing like a new pair of glasses, looking at, opportunities instead of being barriers to success, opportunities for success. He's talking about having a rich mindset, not a deficit mindset, right?
Oh, that has been huge, Matt. That's been huge. And I've done reading, non-legal read. How much do we read as lawyers? How much do we read in law school, right?
I didn't read a novel for 10 years after law school.
Right.
I still haven't. Okay.
Yeah. But that's how I'm learning all this stuff. It's like as lawyers, like we have the capability to teach ourselves, whether we do or not, or it's life circumstances, a different thing. But I started learning more about this thing of and really put my ego aside. Like, Len, you don't know it all. You do have things to learn. Read about mindset. And in learning about that, I realized, oh my gosh, have been living for years in scarcity mindset. And it's limiting what I can do.
Okay.
Yeah, it just had to humble myself. Yeah.
I don't want to catch up. No, thank you. I want to talk for 2-3 minutes, if we can, about what's ahead for you. What is ahead?
Yeah.
What are you doing now to grow your firm, change your firm, develop it into the firm you want?
Yeah. Two big things. One, like we talked about, keeping that growth mindset, because I do want to get to that point sooner than later, JD, to where the business does not depend on me, right? And so doing that, have to have systems, have to have the right team members, delegation, and that doesn't happen overnight. That happens over time. But I know I don't want to be like, some people I've talked about are lawyers out there. I don't want to be in my 50s, 60s, 70s and not be able to sell the firm or retire or move out because I'm still keeping the firm going, right? Right now I can stay on that schedule, but I'm getting older, man. I don't want to do it all the time. So that's number one. Number two is figuring out those systems, right? Reading up other non-legal things, marketing systems, project management, running things. And that helps me build out those systems. So I'm excited to learn about all that. That is the present and future now. I got to learn more, continue learning more. And I'm excited to do that.
Very cool. Let's drill down one layer deeper. Name one system, if you can name it. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's start on something. What's something that you want to implement, at a little granular level?
So right now, I'll get it's HubSpot. It's a CRM. Yep. It's something that I did not use at any previous law firms, but learning how you can set up automations, email marketing campaign, what we're on right now, StreamYard. Like I actually want to talk about you later with that, JD. There are so many of these tools that we can use in innovative ways. but HubSpot right now, learning to get the full, we're scratching the surface of that, but that's a powerful tool.
Sure is. Yeah, we use a different tool, but I'm familiar with HubSpot, and it's got two major, opportunities. One is, of course, with lead gen, getting the right messaging out to those that might become new hires, and then there's the nurturing, right?
The nurture, yeah.
Communicating, staying in touch with both clients and referral sources, right? So
Yeah.
those are that's the one project we've got as an ongoing effort. It's been this thing. I've been in sort of scarcity mode at our firm. We have, call it almost one-off clients, and so we're always fishing for new clients, new
Right.
leads, right? And I get caught up and I can get over focused on that, where really we can actually serve our current clients more completely and take care of them, whether it's through our services, if not, or through referral, and get that reciprocation back to others. So that's our firm's focus. But that's great to hear you're implementing new systems and tools like HubSpot. But that takes a lot of courage, learning a brand new tool like that, switching. I know that switching is crazy.
But again, some stuff doesn't work out. We tried different systems here, and as much as we heard great things, it wasn't for us. So we moved to others, and just having the willingness to say, hey, this system's not working for what we want it. Let's try something else.
Totally.
And plugging that in. It's a learning process.
I love that learning process too, right? I feel like last year I was like on this learning curve for new systems, right? Clio Grow and workflows and a different docketing system, and now we're at a place where it's like we're stable, right? And it's business as usual, and it's great. But I know there's that next thing around the corner. I don't know if it's going to be this year, next year, or 3 years from now, but there'll be another opportunity for me to grow as a business owner and an attorney.
Oh my gosh. And I know we could talk even more.
Yeah.
I know we're running out of time, but AI, Chat GPT, figuring out how to use that and integrate it in a way that makes sense. There's just so much out there, but it's invigorating, and I feel like to be successful and do this, you have to feel that way about that. Because if you hate learning and you don't like all that, man, I don't know how entrepreneurship's for you. I just, not saying never, but it's like, if you're not ready to learn and take on new things, it's going to be a tough road.
Yeah. Len, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us your story, your founder story, and some lessons learned, and a huge tip and with respect to mindset and growth mindset there. So it's wonderful. We're looking to wrap up for Matt, myself, and Bold Patents. Wish you guys a great week. We'll be on the next show next week or two for the Bold Lawyers Show. So thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.